What is up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. This video was filmed exclusively for odds.com. If you missed the podcast, please click the link below. Check out the full video over at odds.com. Make sure you smash that like button, and good luck on all your action. Thank you so much for the support and have a wonderful week. Let's roll. Alexandre Pantoja taking on Manel Kape. This is a super intriguing fight to me. So the last time we had somebody cross over to the UFC from another organization, they wrecked house, right? Michael Chandler comes over against Dan Hooker and absolutely wrecked the UFC's rankings. Manel Kape is going to try and do the same exact thing here. He comes to us from Rizn, so he's coming from the absolute nuts for Asian shows. They've got some extremely high-level talent over there, so we cannot disrespect this man when he's making his move over to the UFC. Now, Pantoja is a proven commodity here in the UFC. His only losses come to the peak, the cream of the crop. He's 1-2 in his last 3 fights. However, those 2 came from Askar Askarov, who y'all know, in my opinion, is a sleeper for the belt, and champion Davison Figueiredo. And that's not a bad loss there. You know what I mean? Like, you lost by decision to Davison. Nobody makes it to decision with Davison, right? Like, only the toughest of the tough can survive 15, 25 minutes with that man, and Alexandre Pantoja did. Gave him hell, too. So this guy, if you don't belong in the top 5, Pantoja crushes you. He submits or knocks out anybody who does not belong in the title conversation. So it's a perfect spot for Kape to jump over and try and get himself right into the rankings. We know how well-rounded Pantoja is. Trains at ATT, one of the best gyms in the world. People just forget how good this guy is. He's never been finished. Extremely durable. One thing that we love to back here. Let's talk about Kape, because a lot of people may not know Kape because he is coming from a show that a lot of people don't necessarily follow. He's nuts. He's absolutely nuts. He kissed his opponent in the octagon one time. Luckily, it was a dude that was cool and just kind of blew it off instead of having one of those pre-fight brawl situations. He's the guy that came to blows with Ian McCall, Uncle Creepy. If y'all remember when Ian went over to Rizn, this guy started like smacking him at the weigh-ins, like hit him in the back of the head and had a brawl. He's going to be the UFC's new biggest problem. I've got a feeling he's going to start some kind of an out-of-cage brawl, and Dana White's going to kick him from the organization. But he's mean. He's nasty. He fights with his hands down. He likes to clown people. He likes to, do this thing in front of you and not protect his chin. He presses people up against the corner. Now, he's been fighting in a boxing ring over in Rizn, so it's not going to be the same thing as the cage, but I expect him to know how to use that cage. He likes to impose his will on people when he has the opportunity to. I don't know if he can do that to Pantoja, though. It's going to be interesting to see how these two size up at weigh-ins. Very, very powerful clinch strikes. Strong body lock, drags people to the ground. Excellent timing on his level changes. Extremely explosive from range. This guy can explode and close the distance insanely fast. And he's one of these guys that's willing to take a shot to give a shot. And in my opinion, that's a very dangerous game to play against Alexandre Pantoja. If you're willing to play with your hands down, give your opponent the opportunity to smack you on the chin just to answer back, you're going to pay for that. You're going to pay for that. And especially against guys like Pantoja or Davison, you're going to run into someone who makes you pay for playing that game. However, it is worth noting that Manel Kape has already gone the full distance with Kyoji Horiguchi, who is the Rizn champion over there and one of the best fighters in the world. So this kid is not to be disrespected. This kid is not to be underrated. I have to side with Pantoja. I have to side with Pantoja because he's been proven against the best in the world, some of the best fighters we've ever seen. This division is hot right now. Flyweight is the absolute shit right now, and Pantoja has been holding a position in the top 5 for a very, very long time. He's currently a minus 140 favorite. The only problem is I don't know that I want to lay that price tag on him. Kape is extremely dangerous. Plus 120, there's been some love for him here as the underdog. I can understand why. When I watch these guys fight, when I see the way their styles play out in the cage, I think Kape is going to play from distance. I think he's going to drop his hands. He's going to continue clowning, and that provides opportunities for Pantoja. If Kape does try to level change, tries to put his wrestling in, Pantoja's got that nasty submission game. He knows how to reverse. He knows how to scramble. I don't know if Kape is going to win the ground game. So if this thing is done standing, I think Pantoja is the more well-rounded, better technical striker. And even though Kape may have a slight speed advantage and explosive advantage, I think over the course of the fight, Pantoja is just going to pick him apart. Given what Kape does and is, I think there's an opportunity for Pantoja to win this thing by decision. Maybe that's the move. The over 2.5 at plus 110. They've got this thing juiced to the under, expecting a finish. These guys might respect each other. These guys both might be too durable and hard to hit. That over at plus money may be the option. I'm giving away all my gold for Total Madness later in the week. So let's just go ahead and talk about it all here. Pantoja wins inside the distance is plus 180. We've got Pantoja by decision at plus 300. That might be the spot, folks. That might be the spot. What is up, Connor Mac Picks, my buddy hanging out here in the chat with us today. DFS by the numbers saying he hit Pantoja at minus 120 and then Pantoja by submission. Ooh. So here's the thing. If there's going to be an opportunity for a finish, I do think submission makes sense because Kape is durable. So I don't know that he is going to get the knockout or anything like that. Submission probably far more likely with Kape trying to implement his grappling, snatch a guillotine, scramble, get a rear naked choke, something along those lines. But this is one that makes me nervous, especially because I backed Hooker against Michael Chandler in his last fight, and he got flatlined in the first round. I'm not really looking forward to lining up on another UFC veteran coming in against a hot prospect here from an overseas organization. We know those other organizations are getting shortchanged, so probably another fireball and popcorn for me. I mean, this Pantoja by decision. Y'all know I like my Hail Mary parlays. That prop will probably linked in on one of those.